So this is like what, the 5th video on this vehicle. I started last night, vacuum pump overnight. I just finished charging it up. It worked. We found a leak right here. Started in the glass after it started up, and once the metal got hot and the rubber got hot, the seal on the glass, it started leaking. Last night it had a 200 psi charge of dry nitrogen and it held perfectly, but as soon as it went under a dynamic test in real world life, it started leaking like a sieve. And this is how leaks work. There's my oil that came out with the refrigerant, and I did try to release it low, but I guess it was bubbling up and coming up with look at all that oil. But I don't worry about that because I told them they needed a receiver dryer anyway, even though it wasn't leaking at the time, just as precaution for the age of the vehicle, to replace the desiccant material to keep the system clean and dry. So one will be ordered. And somebody's going to ask, how do you compensate for the oil loss? And between these two puddles right here, see the size of my hand, and what's inside my hose, I probably have about an ounce of oil. There's probably a shot glass of oil between these two puddles, what is inside my lines. But I think, I'm not sure if these have a lubricant added in them or not, but I put my dye in there with a little oil, like a ½ ounce. Because this is propane butane, it's a HC refrigerant, it carries perfectly with mineral oil. And this is an old R12 system. It came from the factory with mineral oil, so this hydrocarbon refrigerant and mineral oil mix, and that works good. I am totally against this stuff. This should not be used in cars. 1984, you have the original evaporator. Say you have 2 of these cans inside the system, which would be too much for the system. There's only 5 ounces of refrigerant in each one of these cans, and it tells you that's an equivalent of 13.3 ounces of R134. So you need very little of this. Like, this system is 28 ounces, brand new from the factory. So you need something like 7 ounces or something like that to make the system work perfectly. And it was working while it was running. But imagine having a leaky evaporator and having this stuff ignite inside the car. This is why you don't use butanes, but this is for entertainment, educational, scientific, tinkering video only, and the customer's request, because he read something on the internet, and we all know the internet tells the truth. And how can ads like this even be allowed to be on the internet for people to buy stuff like this on eBay? I don't know, but hey, the Better Bureau of Business, whatever, allows it to happen. Consumer Affairs allows it to happen. The EPA allows it to happen. The Automotive Bureau of Repair or any protection agency allows it to happen. So I guess they give it all a thumbs up, because people would just go to, the system was leaking, they just keep pouring in cans of refrigerant, whether it was R12, R134, or YF with leaks, and they just let it all leak out to the air and go get more cans and just keeping it in. So really the EPA doesn't care whether or not you throw tons of refrigerant up. Imagine every day around the entire country in the summertime, how many cans of this flies off the shelves and just keeps getting pumped in, can after can after can, on every leaky system and going right up to the atmosphere. And they talk about protecting from global warming or ozone depletion. You could tell they're not really serious, because if they're serious, this stuff wouldn't be for sale on the open market or in auto parts stores. All right, see you on the next one.